In this video, let's take a look at the new trigger launch clip modes that have been added to version 5. And these are called alt triggers, so alternate triggers. And you can get to them either in the project panel over here. So if you open up here, you're going to see your settings for the clip launcher with your main settings and then your alternative settings. Or you can do it on a clip-based level. So if I select a clip, down over here, I've got my clip launch properties. I can set the main ones or the alternate trigger options on a clip-based level. But before getting into the alternate options, let's just give you a refresher on the main trigger options and what you can do. So if we take a look at this clip over here, with the main option, all of these are set to use the project setting, which means these are going to default to what is set up in the project panel. So just open up this project panel if you don't already have it open and go to the settings section. And over here, we can see what our trigger modes are set up for the main section. So for launch quantization, it means when it's going to trigger the clip when it's locking into the quantization setting. So this is going to trigger a clip every bar. Then we got the launch mode. So how it's going to be launched by triggering the start of a clip. And then you've also got an option to set a release action, which is also new. So for the release action, at the moment, it's set to just continue playing the clip. But you've got some other options over here. So if I hold down a clip and then I let go, I can stop the clip. For now, I'm just going to leave those set as that. So over here on my clips, I'm just going to solo my drums. And if you don't see the waveform view here, you can just click this little icon over here to expand open to see the waveform. This is quite nice because you can just see how long that clip is going to be triggered for. So let's start off by triggering a clip. So that's going to trigger the clip. When the clip finishes, it's just going to continue playing. But if I trigger another clip, after a bar, that clip is going to be triggered. So there you go, that is triggering that clip. And then I can click the stop button to stop it. Now, what I want to show you here is a release action. So with the release action, let's say when I trigger a clip, it's going to play back, but when I release it, it's going to stop. So I'm going to trigger this and just hold down my mouse. It's going to keep playing. If I let go, it's going to stop playback. So that's how the release action works. Now let's talk about the alternate options and how you can use them. So to trigger the alternate option, you can hold down the Alt or Option key on your keyboard as you trigger the clip. Or if you're using a controller that supports clip launching, you can use the Shift button. So with many controllers that are supported within Bitwig, there is scripts that have been written for it so that you can use that Shift button on your controller to shift to the alternate trigger mode. Now, let me show you this in action. So I'm going to play this drum clip. It's playing back. And I'm going to hold down Alt and trigger another clip. Watch here. See that? So I hold down Alt, hold it down. So as I release it, it jumps back there. One more time. And then down again. So let me just explain that again. So when I trigger a clip, it's going to not take into account the quantization. It'll just play where you trigger it when I'm holding down Alt. Then for the launch mode, it's going to use the legato, which means it's going to stay relative to the playing clip position. So while this is scrolling through, let's just look here. If I hit Alt here, it's going to jump to the same point in time on whatever clip I trigger next. And then on my release action, it's going to return back to the previous clip. So let's check this out on something else. So I've got this lead synth over here. I'm going to trigger the first clip. Then I'm going to hold down Alt when it goes over again. So try it out. Jumping to the next clip. And as I let go, it jumps right back to the relative position of that. Go for something here. And jump back. And that is just using the project settings. If I wanted this to work in a different way, for example, if I select this clip, I can say on release, I want to stop. So this is doing a different action compared to the project panel. So the clip launch properties at a clip-based level are going to override the project panel. So I've got the synth over here. I'm going to solo it, and I'm going to select one of the clips. So let's say I select this clip. I'm going to change the properties on the clip level, which means if I change something here, it's going to override what I've got set up at the project panel. So with the launch quantization, I'm going to leave it to use the project settings, which means it'll start immediately if you take a look. So I could actually just set it to that. Then for the playback mode, I want it to play from the start. So this time it's going to play from the start instead of using legato mode. And then I'll leave the release action to return to the previous playback clip. So I'm going to start this. Now trigger that and it starts right at the beginning. Now let go and that jumps to the beginning of that clip. Go again. That jumps to the beginning. So you can see what happens there. This is playing my clip. When I trigger this, holding down the Alt option, it starts from the beginning of the clip. And as I let go or release it, it goes back to the beginning of this. So you've got that power and flexibility to either use the alternate trigger modes set up in the project panel or do it on a clip-based level. But let's just set these all the way back to the project settings. So now let me give a demo to you of how you can use this with regards to a live performance, because that is really where this type of triggering comes in handy with regards to Bitwig. So you might be using the arrangement view to build up your arrangement, but going into the scene view over here, you can trigger clips wherever you want to build up a sort of live performance using the main clip launch properties and then now these extra alternate mode ones to create some extra interest and diversity and improvisation in your live performances. So let's check this out. I'm going to start playing back the scene. I'm going to unsolo this track and now start playing back the scene. Then for the synth, it's triggering that randomly. I'll pull up the volume. Jump back. Now I'm going to stop this clip. Trigger another scene. Then go for another clip. Drum clip. Try out some of these other claps. Another scene. Getting a triplet feel with the drums. And stop the playback of those tracks individually. And back in, adding some more triplets. And then for some claps. So I hope that gives you an idea on how powerful this feature is and how you can use it for your live performances or by trying out ideas on the fly when you want to trigger things.